Hello, my name is Cori Doerrfeld, and I am an author-illustrator here to share my books That's Life, published by Little Brown, and The Welcome Wagon, published by Abrams. Both books are new this year. Today I'm coming to you from the Anderson Center as part of the 2020 Children's Book Festival. Now, this year has been a little bit more challenging and different. So the theme of this year's festival is being resilient. And what that means is we are going to keep trying, keep going, and keep growing, no matter what. We're going to learn to push away those negative thoughts and focus on the positive. Now, I know that kids are good at being resilient because I was once a kid myself. Can you believe it? And one of my favorite things to do when I was a kid was make art. And guess what? Making art is a great way to practice being resilient because you have to keep trying, keep going, and keep growing if you want to be a good artist. Now, to show you what I mean, we are going to look at one of my very first drawings. Can you guys tell what it is? That's right. It's a unicorn. And I know it's kind of a funny looking unicorn, but that's okay. Making a perfect drawing isn't what it's all about when you're just starting. It's about learning that drawing can be fun. And so when I made this unicorn, I figured out that I wanted to be an artist and I wanted to get better. So one way I practiced getting better as an artist is that I began to look at how to draw books. Now, this is where I first learned about starting my drawing with a plan. That means I always started with a pencil, and I started my drawing with simple shapes. So here you can see the step-by-step of drawing a horse, and then the horse that I drew on the other side. Now, it's not a perfect copy, but again, that's okay. I kept trying until I completed an entire drawing for this horse. Now, I know this is something that kids can do too because I've seen kids do it. Here is a drawing that my son made of a lion's head using this same method. He started with a circle, which is a very simple shape. He followed the steps and then he made the drawing. Something else I did as a kid to get better at drawing was I would look at photographs. I really liked animals, so I would look through magazines and try to find a photograph of an animal that I really liked. Say, for example, a chipmunk by a mushroom. Then I would just do my best to copy this photograph into a drawing. What details did I notice in the photograph that I could put in my drawing? Again, it wasn't perfect, but I always did the best I could. Again, I know this is something you can do. Here is another drawing made by a kid where they did just what I used to do, where they looked at the photograph of the kitten and they did their best to copy the details, the color of the kitten's fur, the basket, and even how that one little paw is sneaking out. My absolute favorite thing to draw when I was a kid were cartoon characters like the Care Bears, Garfield, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Drawing cartoon characters is a great way to practice getting better at drawing because usually you're very excited about what you're drawing. So if you have a favorite cartoon character, for example, my daughter used to really like the characters from The Amazing World of Gumball. Draw them as much as you want. It doesn't matter if they look perfect. Again, it is a great way to practice drawing. The really cool thing is today as an illustrator, I still use a lot of these same methods when I make the illustrations for my books. I still always start with a pencil, simple shapes, and a plan. My drawing starts out messy, and it doesn't matter. I just keep trying until I have a finished illustration. I also still use photographs all the time. I can't remember what everything looks like, so if I'm going to draw a picture of an animal, I will still look for photographs of the animal to help me capture the details and make sure the animal looks right. And I still love to draw my favorite things, which right now is my little dog, Jinx. So if there's something that you really love in your life, make art about it, and I guarantee it will lead to some positive thoughts. Now I'd like to share with you a little bit about my books and how they also can teach some things about being resilient. So the first book is called That's Life. Now I am not the author of this book. The person who made the words is called Ame Dyckman, but I was the illustrator. That means I made all the art that went into this book. Now when I was making this book, I had to be resilient because an illustrator's job is to come up with what all the characters look like. So I had to do many different drawings. What did the character of life look like? Was it big? Was it small? What color was it? And I had lots of people telling me, no, I don't like that. No, do it again. But I kept on trying until I had a drawing that everybody liked. If you look at the book itself, there's also examples of being resilient. This little kid goes through a lot. They are knocked down and have to get back up. They get all messy and have to get cleaned up. This kid deals with a stinky life, a painful life, and even a crazy life. But in the end, this kid decides that the one thing you should do with your life is love it. The other book I want to talk about today is called The Welcome Wagon. Now, I am both the author and illustrator for this book. That means that I wrote the story and made all the art that went into it. So when I was making this book, I also had to be resilient in many ways. I had to learn to draw things I had never drawn before, like a scooter, a giant house for rabbits, and an entire town full of animals and buildings. I made lots of mistakes. I had to make the art over, but in the end, I pulled through and made the finished art for this book. I also had to be resilient in writing the story. I had to write a story that not only introduced several main characters, but that was fun and meaningful to read as well. I had never done that before. I think I wrote the story maybe 30 times before we decided it was right. It was a lot of times. So this book also, in the story, has many ways of being resilient. It starts with Cooper, the little bear, learning that a new family is moving to town. When he goes to collect his friends to go meet the new family, they begin to worry. What if the new family doesn't like them? What if they eat something really different? What if it's scary to meet someone new? Luckily, Cooper knows you should just push through those fears and keep going. And in the end, everyone learns that someone new isn't just someone to welcome, they're someone to celebrate. And guess what? Cooper and his friends will be back next month in a brand new book called The Giving Day. And this book is also about how you should keep going no matter what. So look for that in October. So before I go, I just want you to know that even when things are difficult, that you are never alone. Books are always there to help you escape, have fun, and learn. You should always keep trying, keep going, and keep growing. Just push away those negative thoughts and focus on the positive. You can always do something creative, like making art, singing, dancing, or even using your imagination to think about your favorite character. To help you, I did make some coloring sheets of Positive Vibes bees. You can find these coloring sheets at the festival. So color them, cut out those bees, and then stick them somewhere that you need a positive reminder. Thanks so much for visiting with me today. And remember to be positive. Goodbye.